Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. After my own little brown alert the other day with my cancer diagnosis, don't worry, it's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, it's not good, but it could have been a lot worse. I thought I'd share the misery around by giving you a couple of brown alert moments here in World of Warships as well. The first one courtesy of Emblat here in the Tier 7 Spanish heavy cruiser, the Asturias. Although it is Spanish, so it's probably pronounced Asturias. Honestly, I don't know. That's easy for you to say, Panyo. Whatever the hell that was. Right, so, yes. Not going to spend too much time talking about this ship. Tier 7 heavy cruiser. It has a funny button, a burst fire mode, which puts your guns on a 32-second cooldown, which honestly, given the relatively slow rate of fire of these 8-inch gun batteries in the first place, isn't actually that bad. The battle gets off to a rousing start for the enemy team, with the first casualty on Emblat's team being the Submarine. Nothing surprising about that, Jingles. I mean, submarines get depth charged by destroyers all the time. Yeah, this one got torpedoed. I mean, how do you even do that? In the first 3 minutes of the battle, it's not like he was out of battery power or anything, just submerge. Anyway, whatever. Let's not waste too much time dwelling on that, as the enemy Grom has managed to spot himself the friendly Ukatsuki, who's getting into all kinds of trouble over there, and then gets himself gunned down by the enemy Galicia, with the enemy team 2 kills to nothing, all within the first 3 minutes of the battle. So, terrible start, but there's nothing in the rules that says it can't get worse, and so before the match is barely 4 minutes over, they've just lost their Farragut and then Nuremberg. The enemy team are leading by 4 kills. We're slightly more than 5 minutes into the battle, and at least one member of Emblat's team is already discussing surrender terms with the enemy team in chat. And it's here where Emblat has his first brown alert moment. Not the brown alert moment, but this definitely qualifies as a brown alert, as a Scharnhorst 43 comes around the corner and starts hosing him down with armor piercing. He's managed to get some torpedoes away. And of course, it's not just the Scharnhorst shooting at him. There's some high explosive coming from that smoke screen, and some high explosive coming from the other side of the island over there to the left. I believe that's the enemy Indracht. He's managed to get a couple of torpedo hits on the Scharnhorst, so it's not all terrible, but that armor-piercing salvo was. Fortunately, this is a cruiser with a heel, so he's able to start recovering some health. Even more fortunately, the Scharnhorst is continuing to charge in, despite the fact that he is now giving broadside to a Renown, and he just doesn't know who to shoot at anymore, which offers Emblat here a bit of breathing space as he gets a fire, which of course is going to continue to burn, because the Scharnhorst uses damage control on the flood caused by his torpedoes. The Scharnhorst is definitely going down. He's being way too aggressive. There's another fire. It's just a question of how much damage he and the ships that he's spotting for can do to Emblat before he succumbs to the inevitable. Somebody on the team has managed to get a second kill. Wow, the enemy team are only 2 kills ahead. Emblat's down to 15,000 health. Guys, if you could hurry up and deal with this Scharnhorst, that would be fantastic. The Scharnhorst, choosing the lesser of two evils here, starts turning to angle against the battleship shooting at him, which not only gives Emblat a bit of breathing space, but also, well, just makes the Congo an even bigger, fatter and juicier target for him to shoot at. So, did I say Congo? Sorry, the Congo's the one who... I get confused, I'm old. Anyway, the Scharnhorst is down, taken out by the friendly Congo. So it was a close call, but that was not the brown alert moment. Shortly afterwards, now on 11,000 health, Emblat picks up his first kill of the game, knocking out the enemy Grom. Shortly after that, there's I suppose we could call this a reverse brown alert moment, but it's definitely a brown alert for the enemy Nagato, who is coming around the corner. Despite Emblat having been detected by enemy Hydro less than 30 seconds ago, the Nagato blissfully unaware, his gun's not even pointing this way, and now we can see him and he's still not changing his course of speed. Yeah. Sudden and fatal rush of shit to the brain for the enemy Nagato captain there, as Emblat picks up his second kill. Now it's Emblat's second brown alert moment, but still not the brown alert moment, as the enemy Iandracht, who's basically on full health here, comes around the corner. And this guy has been the bane of Emblat's existence this entire battle. He was the guy who originally hydroed him, even though the friendly Nagato was paying no attention whatsoever. And the Dutch cruiser captain isn't dumb enough to fall for the same old gag that the Nagato captain did. He's not getting caught by no torpedoes, but why isn't he shooting at Emblat? Well, despite what appears to be an easy kill on a tier 7 Spanish heavy cruiser, you can kind of see exactly why the Iandracht is doing what he's doing, because that armour piercing that's slicing through his bows there is 15-inch armour piercing from the Renown here, so he's actually shooting at the Renown, because the Renown is the biggest threat. He's managed to get a fire on the Renown. He's now immediately switching his fire to Emblat. He's killed the Renown. You can see why he did what he did, even though it's cost him all of his health. And honestly, this could have gone either way. Emblat's team are down to 4 ships against 7 enemies. It could be 3 against 7 unless he nails that Iandracht before the Iandracht nails him. He's gotten very lucky that he hasn't been set on fire by any of this high explosive. But the 8-inch high explosive shells are on the way. There's his third kill, and he has survived by the not quite narrowest of margins. It can get a lot narrower. This marks the beginning of the team fighting back, but Emblat, with less than 4,000 health and 2 battleships surviving on the enemy team, is going to have to be extremely careful. So he's doing the old lurking behind an island and using his torpedoes thing on the enemy Congo. They are looking pretty good. Congo, of course, doesn't have hydro and is focusing on... Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Yeah, this will be the brown alert that I was talking about. There's a full health. Okay, it is just a New Mexico. And he has sunk the Congo. And while the New Mexico isn't the best armed battleship in the world, I mean, it's just 14-inch guns, but, I mean, they're good enough. When you have less than 4,000 health, hell, a destroyer could take him out in a single salvo at this point. However, there are 4 of them still left alive, and there's only 2 enemies. And the New Mexico is going to have to come around the side of an island in order to get him. He's just going to have to get the ship swung around to get the torpedoes ready to go on the loaded side. Which means he's going to have to give the New Mexico a clear shot. Oh, this is going to be really tight. If only the New Mexico was faster, he'd have been able to get the torpedo. Wow, really? Over penetrations. The New Mexico is not happy. It's accusing him of being a hacker. Oh, that's glorious. Oh yeah, he's dead now. Yeah, no question about it. But totally, totally worth it. There's the New Mexico in chat now. Bullshit hacks. You know you've won when the enemy resort to accusing you of being a hacker. I mean, I feel kind of sorry for the New Mexico. That should have been a kill. It's a terrible ship. At least let him have 1 kill. But no, kill denied. The Galicia got him, of course, because, well, of course. Anyway, moving on to our second offering for the day. Wait, no, stop, don't go anywhere. Yes, I know it's a submarine. Trust your Uncle Jingles. It's going to be worth it. This is Dave. And for once, it is actually Dave. This is David 242 in the USS Salmon.
All right, let's try not to drown.
Oh, I've got bad news for you, buddy. You're not going to get your wish. But seriously, this one isn't about the result. It's about how we get there. Now, this is a submarine replay, so don't go expecting any kind of insightful commentary from me. Well, even less than you might usually expect any kind of insightful commentary from me, because I basically have no idea how submarines work. I don't play them, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because most of you probably don't play them either, so having a look at what they have to deal with might give you some kind of insight into how to better deal with them. Oh, and can I just say, I'm very impressed with the way Wargaming have modelled the dolphins. Hang on a second, where did they go? The second I start talking about them, they disappear. Where are they? Here, little dolphins. Yeah, there they are. That's actually a thing, by the way. That really happens. Dolphins love to chase ships. Nobody's really sure why they do it. But the prevailing theory is that the bubbles in the wake kind of tickle their skin. So, and it's absolutely 100% a thing. I can clearly remember being on the quarterdeck of various different warships for a stand easy, just watching the dolphins as they chase the ship. So yeah, well done to Wargaming for actually modelling it. It is an actual thing that happens. But anyway, on with the brown alerts, because this battle is basically just one brown alert after another. And the first brown alert occurs when he bumps into the enemy S-189, almost literally bumping into him because they detect each other at a range of 2 kilometers, at least on the surface or at periscope depth. But check this out. Instantly goes to brown alert and dives, and undetected. Enemy submarine still visible because he's pinged him, but Dave himself, undetected by the enemy submarine, despite being close enough to reach out and knock on his hull. I'm pretty sure he got another sonar ping away there now, but I think he's now too deep for that to register, at least from his perspective. It's like playing a different game, isn't it? For those of us who never play submarines, just trying to figure out exactly what the hell's going on here. Which, of course, is why I'm not even trying to give any kind of detailed commentary on the tactics of what exactly it is that Dave is doing here. Because I have no idea. I mean, beyond the obvious, the Edinburgh's spotted. He's trying to get a ping so he can get a torpedo lock. So if you're wondering how it is that a submarine is able to hit you so easily with its homing torpedoes, this is why. It's people who clear that first ping with their damage control. That's what a good submarine captain is going to wait for. Because your damage control can clear the sonar ping, but it's on a 2-minute cooldown. The sonar ping's on 20-second cooldown. So the submarine captain is going to hit you with the first ping, wait for you to clear it, then hit you with the second ping, and then launch the homing torpedoes. Anyway, there's not an awful lot to see here as Dave desperately tries to get some kind of targeting solution on that Edinburgh, and fails. The next brown alert moment occurs when he gets detected. And unless I'm mistaken, that's submarine surveillance detection, so who's that? Oh, that'll be him. And he's been pinged, which means there may be homing torpedoes on the way. Although if there were, he would have seen them by now. Well, then again, maybe not. 5 kilometers away. But he doesn't just panic clear the ping with his damage control. He does it now, because he should soon be able to get out of detection range. And I don't think he's actually launched homing torpedoes. I'm not entirely sure. Because he's got a ping on the enemy submarine, but the torpedoes have lost their lock. So that guy is living on a knife edge. 77 health. And Dave just cannot get a torpedo to connect with the target. I mean, which is, you know, entirely realistic. There's not a lot that's realistic about submarine-to-submarine combat in this game, but that much is certainly true. I think during the entire course of World War II, only one submarine managed to successfully torpedo another one. So the fact that it's really hard to do in World of Warships is probably the only realistic thing about submarines in this game. He is going to have to think about surfacing, though. His battery is getting low. And he's got no contact with anything here. Oh, by the way, his team are getting absolutely slaughtered. But that's not what we're here for. And those look suspiciously like depth charges. So despite the fact that he cannot see anything around him, something knows he's here, and those depth charges were awfully close. Oh, shitty death. There's the Edinburgh. And yet the Edinburgh does not have him detected. And again, close enough to reach out and knock it on the hull. But the Edinburgh has no idea that he's here. Well, he has some idea. I mean, the Edinburgh knows he's been detected by something. That's why he was dropping depth charges in the first place. But he's going to see him now that he's oh shit. Now that he's forced to surface because he needs to recharge his batteries. You can guarantee that Edinburgh's gun turrets are swinging around. This is going to be really bad news for Dave. Oh, and he's been pinged. He's gotten some torpedoes away. There's the ping on the Edinburgh. Right now he's just waiting for that battery to recharge sufficiently to get himself dived. Here it is. He's not going to be able to stay down for long. Edinburgh clips him, he takes some damage, but he's gotten the torpedo hits. It's not enough, of course, and now he's lost sight of the Edinburgh. Back up to periscope depth. And he is detected. It's submarine surveillance. It's that pesky S189 on 77 health again. Still alive, still being a pain in the arse. And while I'm no expert here, I feel that Dave's, I mean, in his desperation to sink that Edinburgh, he's taken way more damage than he needs to here, because he's at periscope depth and it's expending battery charge. If he dove to below periscope depth, he would have expended the same amount of battery charge, but he wouldn't be getting shot at. Although, honestly, given how badly the team are losing, I'm not really sure it's ever going to make that much difference. There goes the damage control to clear the sonar ping. He's now no longer under submarine surveillance as the team lose yet another ship. He's being surface spotted now, that's the big problem. And that S189, still alive, still being a pain. Dave still, I mean, he really does need to sink the Edinburgh. He's probably not going to survive the battle, and he's managed to get another couple of torpedo hits and a flood, and the Edinburgh has used the damage control.
Problem solved.
Okay. The Edinburgh only has to get lucky with one salvo, however, so he's using the limited battery power that he has to dive, go undetected. The Edinburgh's still spotted. I mean, there's only 4 of them left against 10 enemies, so there's no way they're winning this. I suppose it would be nice to at least get 1 kill and some damage and, you know, come out of the battle with something to show for it. I know that right as he dived, there was a quick plane detection warning. Depth charge attack planes being vectored in his direction. I'm not sure if that's the case, but he's not stopping still and waiting for it. Somebody's shooting the Edinburgh. It wasn't his torpedoes. He's managed to get a ping. He's going for the double ping. And he's probably going to try and hit him with the homing torpedoes. He might actually be able to kill this guy. I mean, this has to be massively frustrating for the Edinburgh, though. I mean, we've all been there. And not as frustrating as it would have been if the Edinburgh knew just how close he'd come. Oh, and he's got him. But if the Edinburgh knew just how close Dave had been, when he could have gotten him with depth charges if he'd just known he was there. Oh, there's the submarine surveillance, and here's the final and ultimate brown alert. It's the S189. They're right on top of each other. Notice that the S189, which is a Soviet Whiskey-class submarine, does not have a deck gun. It's got a 25mm anti-aircraft gun, that's it. But the Salmon does have a deck gun. If only it could use the deck gun. I can see a way out of this problem when you're dealing with an enemy submarine on the surface that only has 77 health. But no, they have to do this, well, possibly not in the way that you're expecting. It's certainly not going to be with torpedoes. Dave's completely out of battery again. He has to surface. Not that it really matters, because the S189 had him pinged with sonar? No, submarine surveillance anyway. What is submarine surveillance anyway? Is that passive? Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. He had him detected. Hey, deck gun. 76mm deck gun. Enemy submarine right next to you is 70... Oh, whatever. Can't use the deck gun. That works, though. And he survived. I'm not sure how. I don't really know how the ramming mechanics work in World of Warships, because he didn't seem to take any damage from it. Unless they both took 77 damage, and that was enough to kill the S189, but clearly not enough to kill Dave. But after lurching from one brown alert to another, Dave does actually end up surviving this battle, although there's no way the team are winning. They're about to lose as the enemy team capture the base. That, however, was not an experience that Dave is in any rush to repeat. And I hope you enjoyed watching him stagger from one disaster to the next, and somehow coming out of it, if not victorious, but at least alive. And possibly you learned a thing or two. Possibly. I mean, I don't really understand what I was watching, but maybe you did, and it's taught you a thing or two. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Brown Alert. I hope you're all having a great day, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.